Hey, Sincere here with Tailor-Made Virtual Design, and today I want to talk to you about something that I get asked quite often by people who want to make their own website. They're confused on where they need to build it. Should I use Wix? Should I use Weebly? Should I use Squarespace? Should I use WordPress? Should I use WordPress.org? Should I use WordPress.com? Blah, blah, blah. It's very confusing. So we're going to talk about that today. And basically, I'm going to tell you why WordPress is the best option. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm going to go ahead and tell you why WordPress is the best. In just a nutshell, it's ownership, because you own your website. It's yours. You can do whatever you want to do with it, and nobody can tell you any different. Now, I know that might sound kind of weird, and you're thinking, well, Sincere, it's a website. I mean, I made it, so don't I own it? And the answer is, not necessarily. So let's talk about a couple of points, and I'll tell you what I mean. As far as being your website and you own everything on it and can do whatever you want to, the first thing we need to talk about is hosted website versus self-hosted website. And basically what that means is it's kind of like the difference between renting an apartment and buying your own home. When you rent an apartment, sure, you can move your stuff in there and you can put things in there that are yours. However, there's all these rules that the landlord sets. You can't paint the walls this color. You can't put up a bunch of nail holes in the wall to decorate. And they put a lot of restrictions on you. On the other hand, when you buy a home, it's yours. You move all your stuff in. If you want to paint the color scheme in rainbow colors and every wall is a different color, not that I recommend that. That'd be kind of, but you can do that if you want to. It's your house. You can do whatever you want. The only person who makes the rules when you're buying that house is you. So it's the same thing with hosted website versus self-hosted. If you go with a company like Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, or even WordPress.com for your website, that's called a hosted website. They do all the work for you as far as keeping up with making sure it's secure and all that kind of stuff, which is nice. However, each one of those has their own policies and guidelines about what you can and cannot have on your website. So if you happen to violate that, they can take your website down and it's just gone. And you can't do anything about it, but you have to stay within their guidelines. On the other hand, a self-hosted website like WordPress.org, which is different from WordPress.com, is like buying your home. You own the website. You don't have any guidelines about what you can and cannot do with your own website. You're not going to violate anything. The only person who's going to take it down is you because you own it. It's yours. Now, let's talk about the second point, which is free website versus paid website. One of the things that I hear as a concern when I tell people to build their site with WordPress and do self-hosted because they will own it is, isn't that expensive? I'd rather have a free website like you can get on Wix and Squarespace and Weebly. Let me break it down for you and tell you the truth. To make a website that's self-hosted, which is part of what I teach people how to do, you can do that for less than $100 a year. Now, you can do the math on that because I don't feel like doing it right now. But, I mean, that's not much per month when you think about it. Less than $100 a year, not a big expense to have your own website and complete ownership of it. On the other hand, can you build a free website with Wix and Squarespace and Weebly and WordPress.com? Yes, you can. However, you need to know that the free website versions of those, when you build on those platforms, they are going to keep their name and their advertising on your website. For example, my domain name for my website is tailormadevirtualdesign.com. If I were to build that on, say, WordPress.com, it would be tailormadevirtualdesign.wordpress.com. Or if I were to build it on Wix for free, it would be tailormadevirtualdesign.wix.com. See what I mean? And plus, they would have their branding on it, meaning somewhere on the site it would say built on Wix or built on Weebly. They would have their advertising on your website. So that's how you get the free one. So it's a trade-off. You can build a free site to get started, but you do need to realize that they will have their advertising and branding on your website. I want it to be mine. I don't want anybody telling me what I can and cannot do with it. And I don't want their stuff on my site unless I choose to put it there. So those are the biggest two things that I talk to people the most about when they want to start a website. The main reason why I work with WordPress and self-hosted websites is because I own it. And if I'm going to teach somebody how to build a website, I want them to own it. I don't want them to have to worry about, is this something I can do? Or what if it gets taken down? Will I lose all my content? Can I move it later? And all that other good stuff. There are a few other things about those website builders and why I think WordPress is best. You can look down in the show notes, and I have linked to my blog post on it, which gives you a little bit more information. And then that little bell notification, you can click it and it'll tell you whenever I upload a new video, because you don't want to miss anything. Don't want to have FOMO, fear of missing out. I just learned what that meant. I will see you in the next video. Bye.